Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Slamhub Wrestling. Myself Suprit, and this is the AEW Dynamite review for November 11th, 2020. And I'm joined by Abisheik Aneja, aka Abby Maniac. What's up, Abby?
I'm absolutely fine. How about you?
I'm being good. And speaking about good, it's been a good week for AEW. We had a great full gear pay per view, and just yesterday they announced their AEW games, which will be for both mobile and we also have a console game, obviously.
hmm
So, been your opinion on full gear?
my opinion, I guess I would not have an holistic opinion regarding it because I have not been able to watch the whole pay-per-view. I have only watched two matches as I was busy with regards to the tapings of the Wrestle Square episodes.
Hmm.
And I have watched two matches. The first one was the World Tag Team Championship match, which was the Young Bucks versus FTR, and the second was the World Title match, which had Eddie Kingston and John Moxley. Both the matches I enjoyed, and the brutality with regards to the World Championship match, it was, I guess, expected from my side, and a little bit you can say I can understand with regards to maybe I was thinking some deathmatch stuff, but that is for the independent circuit, not for the national or international television audience. So I can understand, but the brutality and with even the use of weapons and also without the use of weapons, the strikes and everything, the homage to the All Japan style. It was a great match, and Eddie Kingston at the end, at the brink of his life, saying the words "I quit." It it made it. It made it, and it also, I guess, established Eddie Kingston as a star, and he is now scheduled to have a feud with a good legit superstar now, as it happened at the end of the show. And with regards to FTR versus the Young Bucks, uh, we covered in our predictions that what will happen? Will the EVPs book themselves as the winner, or will FTR go with the gold? So EVPs booked themselves with the victory. But nonetheless, the match was great. The match was awesome. The selling of the injury and the stipulation, it went on well, and the the homage to the past tag teams, the present tag teams, it was all in the match, and everything. The match was great. Yes, it kind of pisses me off that FTR did not have a lengthy, legit tag team reign so as to, you can say, maintain the legitimacy of the tag team strap, but they would have something in mind with regards to how they will book forward the tag team championship. And we now also know that FTR would be having a rematch against the Young Bucks, so it would be great to see that. So, all in all, both the matches were great, and I have read the reviews, and overall, as expected, the whole card was stacked, and I guess, as per your opinion too, it delivered. It delivered.
Yeah, like we said, yes, the FTR Young Bucks match was great. Um, Talking about rest of the match, the Elite Deletion match, it was what it was, and it was not on the level of the previous deletion matches.
Mhm.
John Silver has, like I predicted, he had a good performance, a breakout performance. Shida versus Rose. No offense to the women that competed, but it was a bathroom break match, and I was
Yeah, I
surprised.
also got a
You go
glimpse
on.
of that. I also got a glimpse of the women match. It was not up to par. I agree.
And I was also surprised that Shida retained here. I don't know what the plans are regarding the women's championship. Um, and of course, the main event, you said it was Kingston versus Moxley. You said it was great, but in my opinion, it was not that good. But in terms of the story they were trying to tell, it was perfect.
Hmm. Yes.
So yeah, those were our thoughts on Full Gear. And let's come to Dynamite this week. I thought it was a really good show, top to bottom. What was Dynamite this week?
Yes, I would agree. I would concur your opinion. Top to bottom, it was a great show. I guess it felt like it just flowed and it went away. It didn't look very long as compared to the previous shows. Uh, Maybe, in my opinion, it did. And I know now what they are going to do with regards to their next pay-per-view. Now we are getting to what they are doing next. We had, uh, you can say, some sense of direction with regards to Cody. What is Cody doing? What is with regards to TNT Championship and Tag Team Championship, we have to see. And now the next pay-per-view is AEW Revolution, so they are building towards that. And also the rematch, yes, it is covered under the Tag Team Championship. And so it was a great show nonetheless. There were two, I guess, two matches or one match which they haven't really, you can say, told the story on TV very well before, but the matches on the show were good. They were great. So as that we were not out of the match, or we were not feeling like it that it does not deserve to be on the card, or it does not deserve to be on TV. So it's understandable. So nonetheless, it was a good show. It was a great show.
So we had Brian Cage versus Matt Sydal. Cody Rhodes had a little promo segment. Natural Nightmares versus Butcher and Blade in a bunkhouse match. We had the induction ceremony for MJF in the inner circle. And the main event of was Penta El Zero M versus Ray Phoenix, and so much more. But before that, if you are new to this channel, then make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell for all notifications. We here in Slamhub Wrestling cover all pro wrestling related stuff, including reviews for Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW Dynamite, and New Japan as well. So we start with Team Taz coming out. Taz, he had the mic. He hypes up the Brian Cage's upcoming match. He spots Darby Allin, who's sitting in the Raptors, and warms him, and he sends a warning to him, saying that not to interfere in their business. Taz also calls out Cody and told him to do the same. He then puts over Matt Sydal, saying there is lot in common between him and Allen, but Sydal is a man that has some respect. So we get to Brian Cage versus Matt Sydal. This went about 8 minutes. Cage immediately presses Sydal up. Sydal escapes and a big kick to Cage. Cage with a clothesline. Cage with a belly to belly and a bunch of backbreakers. Sydal fights back with a dropkick. Cage with another clothesline. Cage then does 10 bicep curls with Sydal and does a standing follow slam. This gets a 2 count. Sydal tries to fight back with some kicks and chops. Cage tries to get some offense, but Sydal was back on the offense. Cage with a big insecurity on the in the corner. Um, Sydal counters a German suplex, and he goes for the Hurricanrana on Cage, but Cage blocks it. Cage with a Hurricanrana, but Sydal counters into a powerbomb. Sydal with a flying Meteora on the stage. Back in Sydal with two failed pinning attempts, following a neck breaker and a standing shooting star. A little back and forth between Cage and Sydal. Cage with a big lariat. Side, Sider counters the drill claw into a roll up for an insane near fall. Sider to the top and he goes for a dive. Cage catches Seidel and hits the drill claw for the win, and that was it. Do you remember when I said Cage had a good showing against Will Hobbs?
Yes, I guess.
I think this was even better. This match was great, even for a 8-minute match. Saddle did a great part from his end. Cage looked like a threat here. Solid opener for Dynamite. What did you think about this match?
Yes, I agree. And even for Matt Sydal to, after the disaster debut, such matches are always welcome. And with regards to fighting Brian Cage, it is great. And such matches, if executed perfectly and being competitive in the ring, and both the styles are different. That Sydal has the quickness, the athleticism, and he is nowadays uh, taking the submission style, and Cage has, of course, the weight advantage, the power and strength, and the athleticism all the way. He moves like a cruiserweight, but he is a heavyweight. So the clash of styles, it meshes well, and it it translated to the audience as well. So for both the guys, it was, you can say, a win-win situation, and it was a great match. And with regards to the pre-match promo of Taz, I would just like to point out that the thing that Taz pointed out, that he said that Darby doesn't respect the legends of the past, and he mentioned Matt Sydal. So I think that in my conspiracy theorist brain, that maybe he is pointing to Sting. I just want to say this. And still, Darby Allin is sitting up in the bleachers, in the rafters, and maybe they are taking, they are building towards that something with regards to Sting being the justice of sorts in this whole feud. Whoever people are involved in this, whether it's Will Hobbs or Darby Allin or Team Taz, whoever people and Cody Rhodes, whoever are involved in this, he could be the justice of sorts. So it may very well happen, it may not, but it certainly seems so. But nonetheless, and with regards to the match, what the thing that happened in the match, Cage showcased his strength advantage in the initial part of the match with the stiff Irish whips, bicep curls, the fallaway throw, and stiff lariats to Sydal. And he grounded Sydal basically and didn't let him use his speed and aerial prowess. And there was a spot that was the Meteora from the top on the ramp by Sydal that was great, and it was basically the turn of the tide to Sydal. The momentum of the match shifted to Sydal. Sydal got it, but it got halted at the end with a drill claw out of nowhere. And it was, I guess, a callback to the RKO spot with Evan Bourne, or you can say Matt Sydal with Randy Orton.
So, what do you think about Matt Sydal's role in AEW? Do you see him just being a veteran, putting over young talents, or him doing something big for himself?
Oh, I right now I cannot say anything uh, that how AEW is booking him, because still I would like to say the thing that I have previously said too in one of the previous reviews, that whenever Matt Sydal enters the ring, he does his character, which was the third eye thing, the third eye character, and commentators have refused to even acknowledge that. AEW has refused to even acknowledge that even once. No video packages, even not a single word. Even when Matt Sydal goes to the camera in the midst of the match and he points to his third eye and he says that this is the smartness and this is the I am the awakened one, and whatever he tries to say and gets the crowd irritated or whatever he has to draw heat, commentators, AW officials, nobody has given a single fuck about that. Single fuck. So I do not think right now that Matt Sydal has been given a significant role in this company at the moment, or there are even plans of it at this moment. He could be a good storyteller, he could be a good character. He has done that third eye thing in Impact Wrestling, and most probably even on the independent circuit. But they have to use that, obviously. They have to put their ego aside if they are thinking that he has done that in Impact Wrestling, he cannot do it here. So they have to put that ego aside. They should be not WWE light. They should be AW. It was a good character if given the range and maybe even done right, it could be able to garner heat. So then you can use that for storytelling and stuff like that. Yes, it would be used to, as you just asked, to elevate new stars and other stuff. But whatever the case, at least you are saying, or Taz maybe took it upon himself to say that he is a legend and he has wins over Chris Jericho, and he is a legend in his own right, or even a superstar, not a legend, or maybe a legend, a superstar in his own right. So give him that, give him that. That's all I'm saying.
Or it could be that AEW hasn't signed him to a contract and he's just freelancing.
Probably, but I think he has. Uh, there was a post with regards to him being signed, but maybe if they're if they haven't signed him, so at least give us something that why is he wrestling and what is his thing? Why is he doing the third eye thing? Give us something. Well, I am just meaning to say that don't make it meaningless that what he is doing. It could be beneficial for the television viewership and to get the fans invested in whatever match that is happening. That what he is doing, basically. That's all.
So, post match, we had Ricky Starks cutting a promo. He talks about wanting the TNT championship, and he said whoever steps in their way will be put in the grave. They said they will be making another presence tonight on this show. What I think is that once they have restarted this Darby Allen program, I think this team task they are finally coming in as an interesting unit.
Hmm. I agree, and also I guess there was a little bit of a dissension between these two guys,
Yes, yes.
uh, Cage and Ricky Starks. I think it happened at Full Gear or it happened at last week on Dynamite. It happened
They
at Full.
They did tease somewhat of a breakup type of deal with Cage and Starks.
Hmm. So there could be something that is basically a tease with regards to that who will hold the TNT championship if it comes to that. So it is a good dynamic. It's great now they are taking that. It's good.
We had Cody with a promo segment.
Now it's Cody Rhodes.
Oh, it's Cody Rhodes. I forgot. Yes, Cody Rhodes doing a promo segment. He congratulates Darby Allin for being the new TNT champion. Cody said that he won't be revoking any rematch clauses for now. Cody said that he wanted to blemish a loss from his record and wanted a rematch from MJF. So what happened was a woman enters the ring. She got a mic and questions Cody, why is he lying to his audience? So she introduces herself as Jade and dubs herself the total package. She said that she has been on the sidelines studying her competition. She talks about the various nicknames that Cody has, for example, the American Nightmare, the Prince of Pro Wrestling, and also recalled that he once called himself the Giant Killer. Jade says there is nothing giant about Cody. In simple words, in simple words, she said Cody has a small American nightmare. She then talks about a giant that she knows. She congratulates Cody for getting his name back and said that her giant is a bigger name and is none other than Shaq. So Brandy Rhodes comes out. She is mad. She sends a warning to Jade. She at least, I can say, she at least said bitch for about 2,432 times. Uh, Jade laughed it off, gave Brandy a little spanking. Then a fight breaks out between the two women as Jerry Lynn separated the two. In the ring, Cage attacks Cody from the back and powerbombs him. Starks joins in and it's a spear. Darby Allin comes out for the save. He had a jacket with thumbtacks on it. So Allen with a coffin drop on Starks. Allen and Cody double team Cage. Coffin drop to Cage in the corner. Will Hobbs also showed up with a chair to chase off Team Taz, and that was it. It was a very interesting segment. A lot happened here. I don't know anything about Jade, but she did have a great presence here, and she was really good on the mic. Even Brandy Rhodes, like you can talk all the shit you want about Brandy Rhodes not being a good wrestler, but you have to agree that the woman can talk.
Hmm, agree.
Definitely the big takeaway was the possibility here that they could be doing Cody and Shaq, aka Shaquille O'Neal feud. Um, what do you think about this stuff that could happen between Cody and Shaq?
I just don't know. It is basically an exhibition match of sort to draw viewership, to draw money, and to draw the mainstream audience of sorts. So I I would like to say just go for it. I do not expect a classic or sorts or anything like that. Yes, companies, promotions have done such stuff in the past, and it would be good publicity, of course, for the promotion. So it is good, and the takeaways are that Cody is also looking forward to MJF. So that is also a thing that he would be gunning for MJF, whether now or sometime later. But right now, he had Shaquille O'Neal, and also he is, you can say, involved in this TNT championship situation, which involves Will Hobbs, Darby Allin, and Team Taz. So yes, he has his hands his full but now he has to think that what would be first. What would be first? We have to see. Of course, I think that Cody and Shaq, whenever it happens, I think that it would be at AEW Revolution, most probably. It won't be on AEW Dynamite, I think. And with regards to this TNT Championship situation, let's see what happens. Now, Will Hobbs came at the end when almost all the action was basically done and dusted. So there it could be a thing that maybe he joins Team Taz after all. So there is a lot of stuff to unravel. So it is good, it is intriguing, and it's exciting.
So my theory on this is that Cody may be taking some time off. So in that time, they could build off this Shaq feud, and yeah, he's. I think he's for now. He'll be permanently going off, putting over the young talents for just for now, and focusing on this Shaq feud, like you said, was being done for getting AEW that mainstream publicity.
Hmm. All right. Yeah.
So we had a interview segment for John Moxley. He talks about his I Quit match from Full Gear. He said the match made him realize what the AEW World Championship represents, and he then talks about his number one contender for the title, Kenny Omega. He puts him over as a great wrestler. He also recalls beating Omega once and said he will do it again. Moxley knows there will be someone who finally beats him, and it could be Omega, and therefore he wishes him good luck. So it has been made official that the AEW World Championship match between the two will be happening on the December 2nd episode of Dynamite. I don't know about this. I thought they were going to do at Revolution, seeing it is a big match and it deserves pay-per-view. It should be on a marquee pay-per-view. What is your take on this? Should have they done it on Revolution?
Mm, Probably they are thinking that we it would be basically a ratings grab that we can get the ratings, of course. And secondly, it would be that they do not have the things to get in the story with regards to, build the feud for so long as to prolong the said match or keep the viewers interested in the said feud till the pay-per-view. So maybe they thought that December 2nd, we can build a solid card, a solid show, a special kind of a show, which could have the main event as the heavyweight uh, world heavyweight championship, AEW World Heavyweight Championship match. So that could be one of the things that could crop up in their heads because they have done that shit basically last year. That the coffee table spot and other stuff, they have done that. So maybe now it is basically they are going for the New Japan way. So now they do not need that shit. Now basically it would be promos and just go for it. A traditional singles match, hard-hitting match, of course. We would see, I guess most probably John Moxley in a New Japan avatar and not AEW avatar, which is basically WWE avatar turned 11. Uh, I would probably want that. And probably that could only be the possible two or at least one explanation.
So now that they are doing this match this early, do you think Omega is still beating Moxley?
No, that could be the thing that they would have the second bout on the pay-per-view, probably. There could be some shit finish or some, or they say that dusty finish probably. So they could have the second bout at the pay-per-view Revolution.
We get to the bunkhouse match. Natural Nightmares versus Butcher and Blade. Natural Nightmares didn't even wait for the introductions and jumped Blade and Butcher. Marshall was whipping Blade with his belt. On the outside, Dustin and Butcher were fighting off. Dustin hit a reckoning on a setup chair. Dustin and Marshall set up a table nearby. Blade with a guitar shot to Marshall, busting him open. Dustin sends Blade into a stack of hay. Back in, Dustin chokes out Blade with a cowbell. Dustin sets up Blade for the shattered dreams, but Butcher takes out Dustin with a crossbody. So Dustin was handcuffed in the corner by Ali as Butcher and Blade continued their assault on Marshall. Blade sent Marshall into a ladder. At one point, Dustin managed to hit Blade and Butcher with a kendo stick until Butcher knocks Dustin off the apron, setting him free in the process. Butcher Blade continued to work on Marshall. Dustin back in, double jabs to both and a clothesline. Scoop slam to Blade and the code red to Butcher into a sloppy looking pin. Dustin and Butcher brawled to the outside as they were on an elevated platform. Marshall with uh, he sprays a fire extinguisher at Butcher. Dustin then bulldogs Butcher through some plywood. In the ring, Blade and Marshall fought for a while. Marshall did a flying elbow from the top of the ladder for a 2 count. Dustin and Butcher were back in. Blade uses a steel chain on Dustin. Uh, they did a double team on Dustin through the 2 chairs. This gets a 2 count. Marshall hits a diamond cutter on Butcher. Blade counters the diamond cutter and it's a low blow. Final parts of the match saw Ali trying to interfere, but she gets accidentally knocked out by Blade, sending her through a table. Marshall hit a diamond cutter to Blade for the win, and that was it. A okay match. Basically, this was a blow off to a very underwhelming feud with lot of logic gaps, which they mostly did it on Dark, and they sometimes squeezed it in Dynamite. So, what was your take on this match slash feud?
Uh, Basically, the match was entertaining, I should say. Nonetheless, I would, uh, I just had the same opinion that however this feud came about and whatever stuff that happened, we did not see much of it translated on television, but the match was so much better than the build. That's all we can say about that. And the story is the same, that the bunny or Ali maxed out Cutie's credit cards, used it for the money. She was a gold digger of sorts. And Dustin initially was the one who vouched for her to join the Nightmare family. And she betrayed them all. She broke their trust, basically. And with regards to the match, the guitar shot by Blade was was just mwah, was brilliant. And yes, of course, QT got busted open. This match was no DQ, no count out, so this was basically mayhem. It was chaos. QT Marshall got pummeled by Butcher and Blade in this match, and he was the center of the story. So you have to give it to them basically that they, you can say, told that story throughout the match, and they gave it, executed it to perfection. And at the end, QT got the win. And of course, Bunny also got some piece of the action by using weapons on QT. And there was a spot, as you just mentioned, Bulldog from the top of the stage on the plywood box was great by Dustin on Butcher, and just followed by the top of the ladder elbow drop by QT, that was also great. And mm, the aforementioned point, I don't know about the build of the match as such, but this match was good, entertaining. These guys told the story in a great way with whatever hand they were dealt with, basically. In the end, Bunny got what she deserved, that is, getting knocked out through the table, getting pumped from the apron, mistakenly, of course, and QT pinned Blade after hitting the diamond cutter post the cowbell shot by Dustin. So entertaining. This was one of the match that I said that we didn't know much about how it transpired and how, except the things that commentators said, and we know that how good they are with regards to that. So the match was great. It was entertaining. It was good, but we were not that much invested in their story.
We see Matt Hardy talking about the Elite Division match and his entire feud with Sammy Guevara. He said something along the lines of Guevara feud being very personal, like Edge and Lita never happened. Um, he said Guevara has earned his respect and he hopes that he utilizes the lesson he was taught. So we transition into the induction ceremony of MJF into the inner circle. Jericho came out first. He talks about this being a very monumental moment as they are adding two more members in the inner circle. Jericho calls out the OG inner circle, but there is no Sammy Guevara. They continue with the ceremony as MJF and Wardlow come out next. MJF was being very sarcastic here. He acts being emotional. He talks about being in this industry for 5 years now and how he once asked his dad for nothing but a loan of $1 million. Then he then he recites a poem and said his homies, proud and powerful, will dig it. I laughed. He recites the poem. Ortiz interrupts, saying that this poem is copied from a Drake album. Ortiz shows his displeasure on not wanting MJF in the inner circle. Jericho tells Ortiz how MJF is important to the inner circle and that he will have to cooperate. MJF then reminds us that it's Jericho's birthday. He then said that all of them will be going to Vegas next week and all the expenses are on MJF. Segments ends with MJF singing happy birthday. Also later on, we were given the explanation that Guevara got the wrong location for the ceremony. So they are building towards Guevara being the one kicked out of the group.
Yes.
Uh,
We
so
predicted that, or you can say we discussed that, obviously. I think it was entertaining, and what they are doing is great. And I am happy that MJF won at Full Gear, and they are doing what they should be doing. And we discussed that, and we put out that into the universe of sorts that it should be a prolonged feud. It should be drawn out. Prolonged feud, or I should say, it should be drawn out. It should be stretched out. That in the initial part they are together, and then it is a betrayal, and then it is finally happening. So it is good. It is good, of course.
it,
How it comes about, that is the question. That you have to keep it entertaining. You have to keep the fans invested in the whole process. So that is of course tricky, but that is the nature of the beast, of course. It is great.
it
Next
is
week.
one of those feuds that they can stretch it out till Revolution, unlike the situation we had with Moxley and Omega.
Hmm. Probably. And I am of the opinion that they should stretch it even more. MJF and Jericho, they can stretch it more. not one pay-per-view or two pay-per-view. The next you got to have a match, obviously. So next should be Sammy Guevara versus MJF, not anything else. You can stretch that feud, and if you want to have uh, Jericho and MJF compete, then do not have MJF and Sammy Guevara. You can have MJF and Jericho compete in a tag team match. They can tag against some team, and there you go. You have to build that trust and you have to build that friendship. That yes, they are friends, they trust one another, and build that, build to that, and then there is a betrayal. Betrayal obviously would be from MJF, and Chris Jericho is loved, obviously, and he would be the one taking the brunt. Why you want to close out it in one pay-per-view or two pay-per-views? You can prolong it, but yes, it would be very difficult in this time, in this age when people's attention span is too small, and uh, and the creative or the bookers are not that good with regards to writing. But if you give them resources and if you give them time, they will come out with stuff. And I would be very happy if it is stretched out and it is given that much importance.
Also, another thing to note is that Chris Jericho is now 50,
Yes.
which means the demo god himself is out of the key demo. So next we had Alex Marvez knocking on the door of the Young Bucks. He hesitated a little bit, thinking he might get super kicked again, but that was not the case here. The Bucks say winning the tag team championship at Full Gear was their biggest accomplishment till date. They would love to have another rematch against FTR, but for now they want new challengers. Then they talk about this new tag team called Top Flight. The Bucks say these two remind of themselves, and so we are informed that these two will be facing next week. Do you have you scouted Top Flight? Have you seen their work?
No, I wanted to ask you about this.
I never heard about Top Flight.
Same here. So we both will experience top flight next week.
We have Scorpio Sky versus Shawn Spears. This went 9 minutes. Both men start with a lockup. Then they exchange a little bit chops in the corner. To the outside, Sky continued the offense. Back in Sky up top, but Spears trips him. Uh, Spear, Spears hits a back suplex on the apron. Spears is in full control. Spears has Sky in a fireman, but Sky escapes and makes a comeback with some quick offense. Both men to the outside again. Spears sends Sky into the steps, but Sky leaps over it. Sky with a big right to Spears. Sky launches from the steps and into a super kick. Spears he then slams Sky onto the steps. Back in, Sky looks for a TKO, but Spear escapes. Sky locks in the sharpshooter instead. So what happened was Tully Blanchard gives the iron slug to Spears. Blanchard distracts Sky with another slug. This allowed Sky to load the slug in his glove and whack it over Sky's head, which got him the win here. So it was basically a decent dark match here on Dynamite. I think they will be continuing this feud, and I maybe hope to see these guys more on Dynamite.
Yes. Mhm. You were very, you can say, strict with regards to your take that it was a dark match on Dynamite.
AEW dark match, quote unquote.
Yes, yes, of course. uh, and with regards to also, this was the second match that I was talking about in the initial part of the review, that we have not seen the build of this feud on television. So we do not know, uh, you can say, the stuff which really happened, or of course, yes, they showed us a small clip of sorts that yes, something this has happened, and commentators also just brushed past it, but they didn't give it that much, you can say, explanation to get the fans invested. But nonetheless, time constraints also play a huge factor here, and it was basically what I could comprehend was that Spears was about to hit his. I don't know who the opponent was, so I have written his announcement talent opponent post match with the black glove, the steel slug loaded black glove, but Scorpio Sky came to the rescue just in the nick of time. This all happened on AW Dark. So, and there was some psychological warfare that was waged by Spears and Tully Blanchard on Scorpio. So that's how there was a shot of uh, a mirror which had the words thief written on it. I don't know what that meant, nonetheless. And there, with regards to the match, Spears started targeting the back of Scorpio Sky at the start of the commercial break. Repeated slams, strikes, attacking the back of Scorpio Sky. Then there was a big impact on the back with the sidewalk slam on the steel steps, sorry, which was of, you can say, a great strategic move by Spears. Tully Blanchard at ringside proved to be, as you just mentioned, he proved to be a nightmare and an angel for Scorpio Sky and Shawn Spears, respectively, for what he pulled off. Masterful, marvelous, genius. Spears defeated Scorpio Sky via pinfall.
This was similar to what we said about the Butcher Blade Natural Nightmares feud. It mostly happened on Dark, and they
Ye-
also tried to put in some effort telling this story on Dynamite.
Yes.
So we continue this AEW Dark trend with the next match too. It was Conti versus Red Velvet. So Anna Jay was in Conti's corner while Brandy Rhodes was in Velvet's corner. So this went 8 minutes. Did you notice that they did a lockup before the bell even rang?
Yes, yes, I did. Was there a bell? I am not sure if there was a bell even.
No, what happened was just like the Spears and Sky match where they were explaining their feud in AEW Dark. So they did the same thing here, showing some stuff from AEW Dark.
Hmm.
So what happened was Conti and Velvet they locked up for no reason. Aubrey didn't even start the match.
All right. Mhm. I saw that, but did they even ring the bell afterwards, or they just
No, no, no.
went?
They started. Just finally rang the bell.
All right, all right, all right.
So
Hmm.
both women here started with some technical offense. Velvet with a standing moonsault for two. Velvet was working on Conti in the corner. Conti fires back with a couple of judo throws. At one point, as both women were down, Anna Jay sends a chair to Conti, but Conti wasn't interested to use the chair. So Velvet hits a leg lariat for a 2 count. So we had a little back and forth between the two women. Conti with a pump kick. Conti had Velvet in the Gory special. Then she hits a knee strike, and that was it. Decent showing for both women here, even though there was little spots here and there where you can see that both women are little green. What did you think about this match?
Yes, I would like to agree on that with regards to what you said, that they showed a little bit of we can say inexperience, but yes, that could be the reason that that Ty Conti has been in the wrestling business for only 3 years, and Red Velvet has been in the business for 4 years only. So that could be one of the reasons. And while competing in the ring, while training, wrestling training, they would only get better. So we can cut them some slack with regards to it. And of course, they are beautiful women and we are men, so we would cut them some slack, obviously. And
Wow,
and
that
with
really took me off guard.
sometimes we have to tell the thing that which would be on the mind of the listener and also in us as in our subconscious. So I said it out loud. I said it out loud. And with regards to the story, which I just comprehended that what could be one of the or reasons why this match was happening was that Anna Jay wanted to recruit Tay Conti into the Dark Order, and Anna Jay has choked out Brandy Rhodes and beat her on multiple occasions via her submission maneuver, that is the Queen Slayer, that is basically the rear naked choke, the grounded one. And that was basically what I have comprehended. And there was one of the instances when Brandy Rhodes came to the aid of, no, it was the other way around. Red Velvet came to the aid of Brandy Rhodes. Probably that was, I guess, one of the spots which happened, which led to this match and which led to the respective associations. Red Velvet with Brandy Rhodes and Taya Conti with Anna Jay. And it was a competitive match nonetheless. There wasn't any uh, extended period of time when one of the opponents, in my opinion, one of the competitors had extended time of an advantage over the other. And Taya Conti, as the commentator said multiple times, has a legit background in judo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and we also saw that in her offense with the judo throws and also uh, the kicks and the attacks that she used. And the most important spot which happened was that Taya Conti, as you just mentioned, that she kicked the chair out, which was offered by Anna J, a steel chair, and then gets the win via the gory special knee strike for the win. While right now the offer of Dark Order still stands. It, it was a competitive match nonetheless.
So we are talking about this women segment here. So why not talk about what happened at Full Gear regarding the AEW Women's Championship match where Shida retained surprisingly. So what do you think is the next thing regarding who the next challenger is for the championship?
Mm, The thing is that as I just said in the initial part of the review, that I did not watch the match, and my prediction was also that give Nyla Rose the belt so that we can have a change of scenario and we can have fresh, challengers or something like that. Maybe AEW thought that we have given Nyla Rose the championship, we have done everything that we could do with the women, so we should stay with the babyface champion. So the only uh, opponent right now Probably it is the doctor, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, the only legit opponent. But she is right now busy in enhancement talent matches because of you, Mr. Suprit. You gave the suggestion. So, other than that, you can have, if you want another go, then you can throw Diamante, you can throw Evilise, and you can throw other uh, heel women you have there. But other than that, I don't know. If you have there, you can also throw in Alison K, but you would not, I suppose, unless she is under contract or something like that.
How about
Uh,
Thunder Rosa?
yes, Thunder Rosa is now gunning for the NWA Women's Championship, I suppose, for a rematch. That angle happened at Full Gear in the buy-in, in my opinion. So probably they are not having. The thing is that you cannot have a competitive match for the AEW Women's Championship match. So um, she can probably upshow the current champions, so they are keeping them as far as possible. So
Mostly, Thunder Rosa is not winning back the NWA Women's Championship.
no.
So in that way, they can find AEW can finally sign her.
Yes, probably NWO or WWE wherever. No, I am. She is under an extended contract with the NWA till I guess the next year, mid of next year, I suppose. So she is with the NWA.
A lot of
Uh,
confusing things right now regarding the women's division.
yes, she is with she is with she is with NWA with an extended contract, and this information was given by the NWA president Billy Corgan on his Instagram account via stories. So they are keeping them apart basically from the AEW Women's Championship because yes, they cannot let the women Thunder Rosa upshow their current champion, of course. If us as people thought of that, then it would look bad on their champion. So they would get someone else, or if they are booking Thunder Rosa versus Shida in the future and giving the strap to Thunder Rosa, first they would have to, go away and get it out of the way with regards to the rematch of Serena Deeb and Thunder Rosa. Then only she can go to the AEW Women's Championship. If it has to happen, if there are no problems whatsoever with that happening. So first of all, she has to get it through with the NWA Women's Championship rematch, and then she can go to the AEW Women's Championship match because we discussed two champions cannot fight because one can not upshow the other on their show. That is AEW Dynamite versus NWA Women's Champion. Now Thunder Rosa does not have the championship belt, so now it is a little easy to give her the belt if she wins the AEW Women's Championship. A little easier, of course. Not, it is still a very far-fetched dream, but it is a little easier of sorts. But first, she has to get away and get it out of the system with regards to Serena Deeb and NWA Women's Championship. And then, if it can happen, then it will with regards to Shida and AEW Women's Championship.
So we were supposed to get an interview segment with Kenny Omega, but he was nowhere to be found. Alex Marvez catches Omega, who was leaving the arena. So
Alex
Omega was
Perez hero was the hero of tonight.
yes, he
Shout
got
out.
two. He got a lot of TV time tonight.
Yes,
So
indeed.
Omega,
Captain No Charisma, as you say every time.
maybe I need to copyright Captain No Charisma. Anyways, so Omega was then being interviewed. He talked about Moxley taking his spot. He talks about the debate of where is the cleaner, where is the New Japan Omega, and he responds by saying that he has been that all along, and he will take back the responsibility of being the best. He then bids us a due as he had a urgent flight to catch. Hey, did you notice after full year, the Bucks and Omega have gone back to being little normal again? Is this part of the narrative, or they are not playing their roles properly?
I I don't know what is with regards to that because I have also not seen the recent episode of Being the Elite on YouTube, so I do not know with regards to that. Because if they are going with that, then there is that they are going with the New Japan dynamic that they had, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, the Elite, the OG Elite that they had. And also, there was one thing that was noticeable. I just noticed that on Full Gear that when Young Bucks won the championship, Kenny Omega came to the ring and they had, uh, you can say, embrace of sorts. But there was Hangman Page who was in their tunnel, who was seeing them. He was in the shadows. The commentary team didn't acknowledge that. There was one, you can say, a one wisp from one of the commentators that look at the tunnel, but and then just shut off. Just shut off. Nobody just said anything with regards to that. What is the position of Adam Hangman Page? Has there even been an update regarding him? There was nothing on the show with regards to him. Was there anything?
No, there was nothing.
No, absolutely nothing. And I want to know because I have not seen, of course, the match. What was the, you can say, end game of Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page? What happened? What was the, you can say, the what happened at the end? I just saw a glimpse that Don Callis was at in the commentary. It could be with regards to FTR versus the North. They are an exchange of sorts, a handshake deal. But what is what was the position with regards to uh, Hangman Page?
Nothing much. Both men had a great wrestling match, and even Hangman looked really good in defeat. And like
Hmm.
you said, the small angle they did after the Bucks won the tag team titles from FTR. That
Hmm.
was it for Hangman for Full Gear.
So there is absolutely nothing right now.
As of now, nothing. Maybe we might get some kind of explanation of what happened at Full Gear.
Hmm. All right. Because if they go with the New Japan route or whatever it is happening, it does not have Adam Hangman Page with them. Or if they are drawing that story for 1 week that people would kind of notice, of course they would notice that where is Hangman Page, what is his status, and what happened with him. Maybe they are building intrigue, maybe they are building sympathy for him. So we would have to see what happens with him.
So we have Eddie Kingston coming out. He cuts off the people for cheering his name. He admits that Moxley made him quit at Full Gear and Moxley was the better man. He then hypes us about the upcoming match and joins the commentary team. So main event was Penta El Zero M versus Ray Phoenix. Uh, these two went crazy from the get go. Lot of stuff happening here. If you mind, can you talk about the highlights of this match?
Um, sure, I can. No problem. With regards to this match, just as like you said, after the story is that after Eddie Kingston has come to the scene, Lucha Brothers uh, not been on the same page. They have been on each other's throats, basically. Before they were a unit, they were a great tag team. They were a unit called the Death Triangle with Pac, basically. And also, what happened tonight that Butcher and Blade lost their bout fair and square to the Nightmare family, QT and Dustin. So, has Eddie Kingston done anything good to these four competitors? That is also a big question. And moreover,
Do you
Eddie King,
remember? Hey, do you
yeah,
remember when Kingston originally formed the family? He kind of winked at the camera.
yes, there I have written that too. Yes, I, yes, agreed. That is great storytelling, of course. It is long term. Yes, that is good storytelling. All came about. And then, moreover, Eddie Kingston out of this whole dynamic, building a family, getting associations, getting people in the back, leading people. He got to the world championship match two times, and now Eddie Kingston lost to John Moxley in the I Quit match for the world championship at Full Gear. So, right now, things seem to be crumbling down, so to speak. And yes, as you said, we all remember that wink to the hard camera when the family association began. So, what is his agenda? Basically, Eddie Kingston agenda. Right then, also, it was, you can say, a prediction of sorts of mine that he would do that. That he could make, Penta and Phoenix fight against one another and just break them off because they're a good tag team and people together, you break them apart, then they are weaker in singles as individuals. So that could be one of his agendas, basically. And with regards to the match, of course, this is also part of the story. Pentagon and Phoenix wrestled one another in the first round eliminator to crown the number one contender for the world title. The match Phoenix won, but got injured, so he gave up his spot to his opponent, that is Pentagon, his elder brother, for the next round on the insistence of course, Eddie Kingston. So this is all that is playing here. Now, at some point during the match tonight, we saw Pentagon tearing the mask of Phoenix, telling you a whole different realm to where the emotions have gone to. And it's all because of Eddie Kingston. The commentators were also gunning for him that what have you done to Pentagon? What is this nonsense? What is happening? They are brothers. They have trained together. They have won championships together all over the world. What is this fucking happening? And Eddie Kingston was referring to Pentagon as his best friend multiple times, and he has previously also. And in Lucha Libre, wrestlers respect the sacredness of the mask. And here it was rather disgusting to see. And Pentagon, also could be jealous of Phoenix's appreciation and adulation he gets from the crowd. That he can do such things in the air, his aerial prowess, and he doesn't get much respect and love from the crowd as his younger brother, that is Phoenix, does. So that also could have been one of the ammunition which Eddie Kingston used to drive a wedge between the two brothers. So that could be one of the things. Pentagon Jr. dominated, or I should say Penta L0M, or Penta's L0 Miero, dominated the action for the majority of the match. At one point afterwards, Phoenix also took it upon himself and tore Pentagon's mask too. So it looked like a brutal fight between two brothers. They are not giving a fuck about their culture, the sacredness of the masks, whatever the fuck that was happening. And were all because of the magician Eddie Kingston. Eddie Kingston asked for a disqualification when Pentagon's mask got torn off. He didn't give a fuck when Phoenix's mask got torn off. At the end, there was a brutal finish. Pentagon hit the fear factor, that is the package pile driver, on Phoenix on the apron, which is the hardest part of the ring. Then he hit the Panama Sunrise, or you can call it the stepping Canadian destroyer from the apron and then on the outside. Then that happened. He was targeting his head. Pentagon was targeting his head. And then basically again a fear factor inside the ring to just end it, to end the misery, to end this match. One, two, three. That was done, basically. A brutal finish. And then Eddie Kingston came to the ring and he kicked Phoenix out like it was a piece of trash, like a piece of torn paper, like it was nothing. It was not even a human. He just kicked his carcass out of the ring, and he embraced Pentagon and he said, "You are my best friend. You don't need Phoenix. We have one another. We can go to the ends of the earth. We can win. You are better. You are the best luchador in the world." And then we saw Pac returning. He cut a promo. Pentagon just retreated to the outside. He went away. He Pac cut a promo. He's he just said whatever has happened with regards to him, that I have come for you, Eddie Kingston. And then they were about to fight, but the officials came and they just separated the two, and there wasn't really much of an interaction, but we can get a glimpse that Pac and Eddie Kingston would be the next big feud that is happening with regards to these two competitors.
And they can also add this at the February pay-per-view.
AW Revolution, yes, of course, or maybe they would add it to the December 2 episode.
Yeah. No, you can do it long term because they are saying that Kingston is still not medically cleared.
Yes, yes, probably.
So what does this mean? Does Kingston slowly betrays the other member of his family too?
I don't know. I think that now Pentagon Junior, or Penta El Zero Miedo, is now joining the dark side with Eddie Kingston. I think that. And probably we would have a tag match of sorts with one side having Ray Phoenix and Pac, and on the other we have Eddie Kingston and Pentagon, probably in the near future.
We'll have to wait and see. So that was Dynamite.
Yes, that was Dynamite for 11/11/2020.
So Abby, before we leave, where can these guys find you?
Guys, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Abimaniac, AWYMANIAC. And I am currently working with an independent wrestling promotion in India called Wrestle Square. You can follow them on their social media handles at Wrestle Square. I'm working with them as a commentator and an on-screen talent. And you can also subscribe to their YouTube channel at Wrestle Square.
You can find Slamhub Wrestling on Twitter at SlamhubW, Instagram at Slamhub Wrestling. Our podcast and reviews are mainly audio based, and if you don't want your YouTube app running for that, then you can catch Slamhub Wrestling on Anchor and Spotify as well. So this was the AEW Dynamite review, and we'll see you guys next time.